I was promised murder in this murdering mystery movie. Why did it take an hour to get there?
To be fair, we did get many of them.
It's an hour in a 2 hour movie until finally somebody dies. Spoiler, I guess. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Back. So kind of getting back in the swing of things. Kind of been out of commission the past couple weeks. And Sarah was kindly agreed to just watch everything that came out this week one day, so we just knock them all out.
I guess they came out last week.
Technically, I count them as this week. Whatever.
Fair enough. They were both movies that I wanted to see anyway. You probably didn't grow up with these, but PBS had a British series of Agatha Christie mystery film adaptations that I grew up watching. So I'm an Agatha Christie fan from those. And in my opinion, and my mother's opinion, and other fans of that production as well, the actor who played Hercule Poirot in those, an actor by the name of David Suchet, is the definitive on-screen Poirot. So I didn't see the Kenneth Branagh version of Murder on the Orient Express that came out a handful of years ago. I passed on that one because who could beat him in my mind. I did want to see this one. I decided to support Agatha Christie mystery stories remaining in the public consciousness in this way. And to be fair, there were some, for lack of a better term, Poirot-isms that I feel Kenneth Branagh did fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
His mustache isn't nearly as good as David Suchet's was, but I recognize that's nitpicky. But I enjoyed seeing the spectacle and the costumes and the lighting and the locations, and it does have an all-star cast. So I feel like there's a lot to enjoy about this movie, even if you're more of an Agatha Christie purist, which I haven't read the novel. My mom has. From the looks of it, I'm guessing it does deviate quite a bit.
I would not be surprised about that. I think my thoughts on the movie is like, you know what? For what it is, I enjoyed it fine. Their parts are just very silly, very melodramatic. And more than a few times I rolled my eyes like, oh, good Lord, you fucking rich people. One part in particular, I was the only one in my theater when I saw this, so I got to be as loud as I wanted.
Nice.
Just going like, oh.
I was initially the only one in my theater, and then a few other people came in.
I know, of course, that always happens at the last minute. But yeah, like I did kind of have to chuckle, and I'm sure this is in the book, so I guess I had to keep it in, but it did make me laugh that the fucking mustache had a Dark Knight Origins, like Dark Knight Rises origin story of like, oh, it's not just a big fluffy mustache, it's from the war and all these things. And I get it's a part of the character and all of those things, but just the way it was presented, I'm pretty sure that's the movie.
I'm pretty sure that's a Branagh deviation from the source material.
Oh, then I can just make fun of it all I want then. All right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, Poirot may have had some flirtations with a visiting character from time to time, but he never had a sex life. Never mind a fiance.
I can point out that the fact that the mustache gets a fucking origin story is fucking stupid.
Yes. Okay. That was rather ridiculously unbelievable.
There's a lot like that in here, and like it kind of has like a schmaltzy, like soap opera-y kind of charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, it's cheesy, it's dumb, and it like this did not need to be 2 fucking hours long. But like that being said, when it actually got to the mystery part of it, like I enjoy bottle murder mysteries. I always have. So like, yeah, I'm a sucker for it. Even if it's not great, I'm still gonna enjoy it because you just don't get a lot of those these days. I could have done without as much the whole Gal Gadot drama and Army Hammer drama as we got.
That's who was playing her husband.
Oh yeah, I'm like it's
Okay.
amazing like when this movie clearly went into production when it finally came out because how many of the actors on here have gotten on everyone's shit list since this movie went to production. It's the fact like Russell Brand they kind of put in the trailers, but they also seem like they're trying to hide him a bit. Army Hammer's barely in the trailer at all. Because he's basically been blacklisted from Hollywood at this point. In fact,
I guess we won't be getting that "Call Me by Your Name" sequel that the author had intended.
there's a sequel to that.
So it was also adapted from a book, and there was a sequel to the book, and at one point there were talks that there would be a sequel, film version where Army Hammer's character got AIDS because it was the 80s and gay culture and all that.
Okay, so it sounds kind of like taking the Phantom of the Opera 2 angle with that.
Yeah.
But although not nearly as cartoonish. But anyway,
Yes.
so yeah, Army Hammer.
Sorry, tangent.
Oh, when have we ever gone on tangents on the show, Sarah? Stay focused. We're very focused. We're very serious. Very professional. God damn it. So anyway, let's talk about Pokemon. I don't
know. Looks like you have Superman behind you there.
Oh, it's Daredevil.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just saw a red chest logo.
Like, what do you think the Superman logo looks like, Sarah?
Like a red chest logo?
It's red and yellow, but anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I know that, but
I'm slightly offended, but I'm gonna let it go.
Your head was in the way of my view.
Slightly offended. I'm gonna choose to let it go. Hey, you're not the one that doesn't know what Superman's logo looks like.
I do. It wasn't in focus.
All right, sure. I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, but where was I? Oh yeah, Army Hammer. So I'm guessing this is probably Army Hammer's like last leading role he's gonna have in a while.
Do we want to get into spoilers?
Let's wait a little bit before you get into that because it's kind of you do have to talk about spoilers eventually with a murder mystery movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I guess for me it's just so weird how much of this movie isn't, which is at least half, which is kind of weird because like for a movie that's supposed to be like again in this genre, I understand if it's a book you can take your time with it, but about halfway through the movie I'm still like I was promised death. Why has nobody died? We've had people almost die like once or twice.
Because they have to build up the relationships and the tension and let the audience know who everybody is and how
need to spend
and how they know each other. And there's the travel porn aspect of we're in Egypt and in the first half of the 20th century. Before the Second World War.
Yeah, the thing is, like, none of these characters are particularly complex, though. So it's like their personalities are pretty well defined after the murder happens. So it's case of like you could have cut out at least a half of this, and it would have been perfectly fine.
I think the PBS film version streamlines it much more. The PBS film version is much more succinct. My mom and I are probably going to watch it when we're done with our but yeah, I do think that Kenneth Branagh's take is, shall we say, a bit extended.
I mean, I enjoy Kenneth Branagh in the role. I think he's good in it. I'm not familiar with the PBS version, so I can't compare.
He's serviceable.
At the very least, he's having a good time. Sure.
Yeah, he does get some of the phrasing and mannerisms down. I enjoyed the phrase he used when after he had a glass of champagne.
Mhm.
It loosens the memory in the mouth. That was a very Poirot line.
Mhm. I mean, I think my biggest complaint about the last movie was that's something the movie couldn't really necessarily avoid, was just the fact that I was annoyed that the twist. This is a spoiler for like a 5-year-old movie at this point. So if you haven't seen it by now, I don't know what to tell you. That turns out like, oh, it was everybody committed the murder, which I understand that book popularized that twist. So it's not the movie's fault. That being said, I was
Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't have to see the movie, because I already knew
you already know who
the
did it. Yeah,
the twist.
yeah. So I was kind of annoyed by that aspect. I was like, that kind of takes away the fun of a murder mystery. This one doesn't do that, which I was glad to see. Uh, that being said, you can still kind of logically figure out who it is, or at least some of it, by just like who hasn't been in the movie in a while, playing that game. So like I was able to figure out at least a fair chunk of it, not all of it, obviously, but it's so I'm like, they're still fun. They keep you guessing. That's why I like Knives Out.
Knives Out is an excellent modern fast-paced mystery.
Oh, like Knives Out is like leagues better than this. It is very much like the better modernization of this kind of story.
Well, it's not. I'm pretty sure Knives Out was original material. This is a book adaptation.
I'm aware of that. My point is, it's still streamlined for a modern audience, or at least that style, that format, that way of storytelling.
Yes.
Because I was absolutely inspired by stories like this. This one meanders a lot. Again, for at least the first half, it does tighten up in the second half, which like, okay, which is when I start getting more into it. But like, for example, and we're going to start to send spoiler territories from here on out, so be warned. But I have to talk about this because that was the point where I just rolled my eyes like, oh, Jesus Christ. Where the whole plot of this is Gal Gadot is this like ultra rich, wealthy woman who like basically steals the fiance of this one woman. I forget her name.
Jacqueline,
something like that. Right from under, as basically just tears out an engagement so she and Armie Hammer can be together. The ex doesn't take it very well. She starts stalking them from that point on, all the way to their honeymoon in Egypt, where
and brings a gun with her, a particular kind of gun that comes back into play later.
Sure, yeah. But the part there's multiple monologues she's talking with Poirot. Am I saying that right?
Close enough.
Kevin Branagh.
It's a French pronunciation, even though the character is from Belgium, which they also speak French in Belgium, I guess.
I'm just gonna call him Kevin. I'm not gonna do that and fuck it up. So she talks to Kevin multiple times about going like, I'm worried about her. Like, I don't know what this is gonna do. Like, I think we should just go home and all these things. And then the next fucking day, Armie Hammer is like, and how can we deny the Queen of the Nile? And she just panned to her in this absurd like throne thing where like had this ridiculous like jewelry and all this shit, and it's really like, oh, look how beautiful she is. I'm like, oh my god, like that is the sniper scope waiting to happen. You are a gigantic target, you fucking rich people.
Yes.
I'm just kind of like, oh, for the love of God, how up your own ass can you get? It's like, I don't know what the intended feel for that. I feel like it's supposed to be like, I don't know, it played it up very dramatically.
A display of excess and a callback to Jacqueline's line about how she played Cleopatra in the school play.
Still stupid.
Yeah, it is. I would have been fine if that scene had been cut, or if that costume had been cut. We already know she's gorgeous. We already know she's incredibly wealthy. That was a bit superfluous in my opinion.
And it's like, it feels like it's supposed to be like, ooh, ah, kind of moment. It's like, oh my fucking God, you fucking people. You don't, I don't know. That just part just really irked me. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I couldn't wait for her to die.
I kind of had more of an ooh, ah moment when they showed the, this giant jeweled necklace from Tiffany Company.
Fair. Yeah, that's valid.
Like, uh, somebody's spending a fortune. A rock that size does not come cheap, even in the 1930s.
No, it does not. So that was the case. Like, okay, that's when I kind of like, okay, can we just kill this bitch already? I already know she's the one. I already know she's the one that's gonna bite it. I guess that from the trailer.
Well, pretty much everybody in attendance had something to gain from her death.
I get that. I mean, obviously, that's the point of murder mystery is the fact that everyone's a suspect. That being said, the way it's done and dragged out, which is like, oh my god, like you just want the next act to start, so you just get the fucking show on the road.
Fair enough.
So we have to take these long detours and these long meandering kind of places that kind of, like don't really provide enough information to justify their existence in the plot.
It's travel porn.
It is obscene travel porn to the point where it's like, again, you're just waiting for the plot to fucking happen so you can get to the part you actually paid money for. And like I said, when that actually happens, like it's one of those weird things to say. This movie gets a lot better when Gal Gadot dies.
I didn't think about it like that. But now that you mention it, the plot does pick up pace a bit.
Yeah, so like after that, I was like, all right, I'm down for this. This is cool. Like, this is what I wanted. Like I was game. I mean, it's weird to see so many like actors are probably not going to see anything for a long time in here, but hey, cool. All right. It's like, let's see who's ruined. It's also kind of a fun game of who's ruined their career since we went to production. It's like, oh, girl from Black Panther, all right, Army Hammer, Russell Brand. All right. If you don't know, the girl from Black Panther has come out very openly as anti-vax.
Lupita Nyong'o?
Yes, the girlfriend to the friend that's Kevin's friend.
That's a shame. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, I know. Army Hammer apparently eats people.
He's a cannibal?
That's the thing. That's what's been going around. Yeah.
Oh my god, truth is stranger than fiction.
I know. And then Russell Brand also turns out to be kind of like leaning far right, like anti-vax crap. So yeah, people that probably aren't going to be in Hollywood for a good long while after this. So it's kind of very interesting to go like, oh, this is their final project. All right.
Well, I'm glad Gal Gadot hasn't killed her career yet.
Yet she is pro-Israeli, which is kind of its own thing.
Well, she is an Israeli.
Yeah, it's more like pro-Israeli as a power state.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's a complicated topic. I don't know enough about it. I'm not getting into it, but that there is some controversy there. Is my point. And plus, she's Wonder Woman. She's fine for a while.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, it's like once the actual mystery stuff gets going, like I was fine with it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like mystery and shit, evidence, cool, detective work. That's what that's again the whole reason I came to this. And I still find it weird. It took an hour to get there, but once you get there, it's fine. And I honestly don't have a lot wrong with it. I think the ending to it's a bit melodramatic.
I feel like that 6 month later closing scene could have been cut.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the importance of it. We see Hercule there watching the African American singer, and he he doesn't have his mustache anymore. So does that mean that they're together now, or
this is the implication?
In the scheme of the plot, that's cool that Brana wanted to give Hercule a social life. I understand that, but that wasn't part of the story, and it didn't need to be there. It was just kind of random, almost.
I mean, I kind of get what they were going for, as in like he's moving on with his life and like yada yada yada. It's like okay, sure, whatever. That part didn't really bother me too much. I get what you're saying though. I guess that probably means more if you're a fan of the book or the you froze on me. Sorry, you there? There you are. Okay. You froze on me for a second.
Sorry, my still having trouble with my cursor. I can't get my picture to hold still, which means I can't do anything with my cursor either. Sorry, tech problems.
It's okay. That's happens all the time. But yeah, like I really don't have a lot to say beyond that. Just like honestly, like if you just shaved 30 minutes off of this, it would have a much tighter film.
Yes.
And I think you could very easily have done that if you just cut down a lot of the pretentious Gal Gadot shit. And just again, I don't need that much travel porn. I get it. You're in Egypt. There are big buildings there. Or the melodrama or anything along those lines.
Pyramids built by slave labor.
Yeah, I mean they're neat looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like
very historical and ancient.
Realistically, Sakiri, you never get you that close to actually fly a kite in the goddamn thing.
No.
Look, you'd be shot long before you got that close.
Pretty much.
Even that, I imagine even that time. But whatever, it's whimsical.
It was an entrance. I'll give him that.
It was that indeed. Yeah, I mean, like I said, in the end of the day, it's mediocre. I don't know if it was worth the kind of development, like the long development delays this thing had apparently.
I'm it's fine. If you like Agatha Christie mysteries and you want to see a better film adaptation, look up the Poirot series. I think a lot of them are playing on the BritBox streaming service.
Okay.
So, and I don't mean that as an insult to Kenneth Branagh. He is very talented.
Mm-hmm.
Just
not his best work.
No, not his best work. Actually, I saw some of his best work recently. A black and white movie he directed called Belfast. That that was really good. So it's kind of interesting seeing that one week and then seeing this another week. Sort of a sliding scale of his directorial talents.
Yeah, that's kind of how the scenes kind of go, right? You find your niche and you work within it. I mean, granted, but again, just judged by who's in this movie was probably like finished and shelved like years ago.
Possibly. I lost track of when his version of Murder on the Orient Express came out.
2017. I looked it up.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
Like I'm willing to bet like top dollar this was done like in 2020.
Probably.
And then just got pushed back because of COVID.
Would not surprise me.
Because like that's before, everyone kind of blew up their own careers. But anywho, yeah, it's fine. Like I'll still support it because I want more movies like this in this genre. Which is like we have Knives Out 2 coming out later this year. That I'm looking forward to that.
Yay! I'd like to participate in that one if I can.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I know I think it's going on Netflix, so that should be.
That'll make it easier to watch.
Yeah, I think that was one of those ones, kind of suffered the same fate of Mitchell's versus the Machines, where it was originally going to go in theaters, but then COVID happened, they just sold it off.
Got it.
So I'm looking forward to it. So I think that's all we got for this one. Let's talk about marriage now. We'll be right back.